Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. So it is Saturday, November 19th. Temperature is right around 62 degrees and the humidity is about 34%. And that is the main reason I am out here today on a Saturday versus my usual weekly routine of coming out on Sundays. Because tomorrow's high is going to be about 50, maybe 55, and that's just not a good temperature to crack open any hives. So for this week, my main focus, if you can or cannot tell, I'll get a little closer, is hive number 6. So I was just out here about an hour ago and there was not this much activity. The temperature has increased just a little bit, and I think with the sun hitting some of the hives, there is a ton of flight activity, and it looks like a whole lot of orientation flights. I'll put my veil on and walk the line and show y'all, but it was not this active within the last hour, so this is fantastic to see. However, as I was saying, my main focus for today is cracking open hive number 6 there and seeing what they have going on. I grabbed a stick when I came out here and I was messing with the entrance reducer to see if maybe that was affecting anything, but it looks like, unfortunately, it looks like that hive has probably died off, and that is the colony that I found a brand new hatched queen cell last week. And about 2 weeks before that, that queen cell was in development, or maybe the week before. It's all on Instagram and previous videos on YouTube. So I had high hopes like I usually do. It is unusual to find a queen cell this late in the season. Some colonies had drones. That colony may have had some drones, but I don't think they survived, because we've had some freezing temperatures over the last few days, and that may just been enough to kill that colony off. So the rest of the colonies are looking great, at least from the front entrance activity. And like I said, I'll put my veil on and I'll give you a close-up of all the flight activity, which is awesome to see now that the weather is in the mid 60s today. But yeah, I want to crack open number 6, see what I can determine, if anything. And if they have any food stores or anything, I'll probably set those boxes on top of some of the other boxes and just let the colonies rob them out. Or I'll move it over here, the old entrance to the bee yard, where I have an open pollen feeder. This has been here for maybe a day or two, and I don't see any bees on it just yet. So I'm hoping they'll find it. That's not necessarily a bad thing if you put pollen out and the bees aren't on it, because that should mean they're still finding natural resources. But either way, they have a substitute, a pollen substitute. So whenever the natural resources dry up, if they still need some pollen, they'll have some. Plus I plan on making some pollen patties as well. I just haven't got around to that. So I might move that pollen feeder somewhere else and put hive number 6, if they're truly a dead out, over here, just out of the bee yard, or not directly on top of other hives like I just said. And I'm sure the bees will find it in a day or two, and they'll rob whatever food stores and anything else they can get out of that colony and use themselves. So, all right, enough of me yapping. Let's crack open number 6. I'll walk the line before that, but yeah, I'm gonna get into number 6 and see what happened to them. All right, I got my veil on. Check out all the flight activity. There's number 6, which I'll be investigating, and number 7 looking good. All right, a little closer of a look. That could just be the bees that were closest to the entrance and the cold weather got them. All right, here we go. Let's get into number 6 and see what we can figure out. Alright, so no bees on the top cover at all. Starting to think they may have had too much space because I wasn't paying attention with this cold front. Because as you can see, these bees here, looks like they may have died and just froze really. All right, let's get into them and again see what we can find out. And if they have any food stores, I'm gonna try and at least salvage those so they don't go to waste and the other hives can benefit from them. Nice drawn wax. Yeah, this isn't looking good. I already see a... Yep. I already see the cluster. I'll show you in a second. I look back at last week's video, and I may have said this in the intro. I think I did at least. Yep. There's the cluster right there. This was the colony that had the queen cell that hatched within the last week or so, and just like some people suspected online late in the season, which I knew, but more so too cold, or if any cold weather came in, too cold for the queen to get out and mate. All right, let me get into them a little more, see what I can find out, and I'll keep you all posted. All right, just got through the top box. First frame doesn't have much really to show. The second frame here, yeah, it's just unfortunate to see. Same with the next few frames. Looks like they just kind of froze to death. And there's that queen cell. Yeah, it looks like the cold weather got to them. You can see right in that gap there, a lot of bees with their heads down in the cells. Alright, I just got done cleaning up the frames, knocking loose as many dead bees, and really just banging the frames around to get all the bees that are buried down in the cells jarred loose. So let's take an unfortunate look at what it looks like when a colony dies. Yep, it's a sad sight, but all part of keeping bees. And the reason I did this is I wanted to comb through them and see if I can find anything that resembles maybe a virgin queen, which might be a harder task than I realized, because virgin queens are relatively small. They actually look like a regular worker bee, slightly bigger, not terribly much before they mate. But yeah, that's why I did that. Just wanted to see the amount of bees that I'm looking at died off, and if I can find what may look like a queen or not. But yeah, it's official. Hive number 6. Rest in peace. All right, well, there you have it. That's where number 6 was, and like I may have said, just gonna move the box over here. Any food stores, larvae, pollen, just gonna put it over here for the bees to rob out. Maybe that'll entice them also to come over here to the pollen feeder. So yeah, just part of keeping bees. I might pop the top on a few of the hives just to take a peek at the upper box, the top box, see what the food stores are looking like, and that'll help me determine if I need to whip up some heavy feed for the next week or two. Right down here at hive number 1. The front entrance, surprisingly, not too much activity going on like the rest of the colonies, but there are a ton of bees up in this top box. And if you look to the left there, you can see that looks like they have some nice food stores, not to mention the boxes are relatively heavy, so they seem to be doing okay. All right, down here at 2, let's see. Some decent weight to it. This is pretty much why I'm doing this. I don't know if they need a top box, quite frankly, because it's just extra space for them to keep warm. And if they don't have a reason to be up here, I'm trying to move fast so I don't let too much heat out of the colony. Yeah, I mean, they have nice drawn comb, but I don't really see any food stores up here. So it's like heating your house, you know, if you got upstairs and downstairs. It's not very efficient or effective to heat the entire house if you're only living downstairs, which is what it looks like these bees might be doing, minus that one frame and like this frame. All right, so I'm probably gonna just shake them off, get them down into the bottom box, because there's really not much food up in this top box, and consolidate the hive in the second position just into one box. All right, shook as many frames as I could, just took the top box off, quick look at the bottom box. But yeah, I'm just gonna consolidate them into a single deep box so they can regulate their temperature better. All right, down here at 3, which if you haven't caught the previous videos, 3 has pretty much become a full split from several hives. I've talked about that enough in the previous videos, but same thing from number 2. I'm really trying to see if they need this top box, because if they don't, I'll probably remove it if it doesn't have adequate food stores or anything like that. Oh, that frame's got some food, so that's a good start. Yeah, same thing with this frame. Yeah, no kidding. Check that out. So maybe not much of a need to remove. The top box. This is, I believe this is one of the colonies that may have had quite a few, yeah, queen cells transferred into them. So I was just checking. Yeah, they froze. I was just checking some of the cells to see if I could find any eggs, but I didn't see any. This box is like 50-50, but given the front entrance activity, I'm not going to mess with them. I'm just going to leave them alone and put them back. All right, quick look at 4's entrance. Very active hive. Let's see what the boxes feel like. Yeah, they got some decent weight to them. All right, let's see. Same thing. Just gonna take a peek. Oh yeah. Nice activity in the top box. I can see some food stores. Got some wax on the bottom side of the inner cover. Yeah. Just want to pull maybe a center frame. Just have a look. Oh wow, okay. This queen's been doing some work. This hive actually smells really good too. Oh wow, yeah, she's been doing a lot of work. All right. I wasn't really checking to see if they were clean right. The next frame has some nice food stores. That's what I was really looking for. I'm also really not trying to disturb much, so I'm just gonna put them back together and just keep an eye on them, like all the hives throughout the winter. All right, same thing with 5. Another very active hive. Just gonna pop the top. Take a quick look. That's a nice sight, especially this here. Active hive. Let's see if we can slide a center frame out and without disturbing too much. A lot of bees on both sides of this frame, which looks like it was used for honey storage last year, and I harvested it because the cells are not dark to where it had previously a brood cycle hatch out. But I also don't see any eggs on it, and the bees aren't really doing much. Just kind of odd to see this many bees just hanging out on a frame. But yeah, anyway, here, I'll show you a quick look. This is one, check out that food store. I'll pull that one and show you. But this hive, nice population of bees. Here, let me move this one frame, and then that's it for this one. So hopefully you can see that. Alright, yeah, I'm satisfied with them. I didn't really have any doubt I'd find anything unusual, so I'm going to put them back together and check one more. Alright, down here at 7, I'll show you this entrance. It's another one that's very active today. The sun hits this one just right in the afternoon, so same thing. Let's just take a quick look. Yeah, that's a nice sight. Just gonna pull the center frame just like the other hives. Be quick. Oh, that was not smart. Should know better. Can't just pop it up like that. You gotta break them apart. Well, I did break that one apart on both sides now. Fantastic. Alright, let's see. Maybe I can get the frame out next to it and do a quick repair. Golly. Maybe that's why I had a whole bunch of funky comb all grouped together. Alright, let's see if I can repair this one real quick. Try not to let too much heat dissipate from the hive. There's a decent amount of bees on this, but no brood or anything. There we go. Good as new, right? Alright, I don't really see much going on. I mean, they're up here. You can see this. Actually, I'll get my flashlight. But yeah, they're a pretty full house. And they're working these frames. Let me pull that one right next to next to the first one I pulled. Really just curious to see if the queens moved to the top box or not, and not yet. That might be the last of their food stores on that frame. Looks like they kind of chewed through. All right, let's get them put back together. And that's that. All right, everybody, that does it for me. It's just shy of 2 o'clock. And unfortunately, I was right about old number 6 that y'all saw. They truly were a dead out. They did not survive this cold snap that came through. And it is just amazing, as I say that, it is amazing to see the flight activity that the rest of the colonies, the rest of the hives are experiencing right now, and the pollen they're bringing in too, which is fantastic for this time of year. I did condense number 2 down to a single just because that top box, they didn't have anything going on, so that's something for me to pay attention to. I'll have to start feeding them or put a sugar brick on top, which y'all saw probably from previous years. But yeah, every now and then you'll hear me say you can't really judge what's going on in a colony or a colony's health by the front porch or the hive entrance activity, but unfortunately I was right this time, and I suspected that number 6 had died out due to no activity in comparison to the rest of the colonies right now. And like I said, unfortunately I was right. So I do have them over here where I showed you before at the old entrance to the bee yard. There's probably some remnants of food and some resources the other bees can use. And in fact, there's already a bee or two already checking it out, so maybe some scout bees. And then sure enough, within a few hours, I have no doubt the rest of the colonies will find that and use whatever resources are remaining in the frames and the cells. But yeah, hey, thanks for watching, everybody. Cole's Farm here in Jacksonville, North Carolina. Beautiful mid to late November day. Like I said in the intro, I definitely came out here today looking at the weather tomorrow and the rest of this week. I didn't want to miss an entire week and go 2 weeks between getting into the hives and just quickly assessing whether or not they need food or whatever the case may be. But yeah, thanks for watching. Awesome activity right now. It feels great. It's in the mid to low 60s and the bees are definitely enjoying it. Enjoying a break in the freezing temperature overnight. But yeah, this is a challenging part of the year. A lot of people lose about half of their colonies over the winter from either, well, mainly starvation. So make sure your colonies have food. If they're light, feed them heavy. Sugar bricks, I've used those practically every single winter and they work. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out our YouTube channel playlists, and I think I have a how-to video or a how-to playlist and a video on how to make sugar bricks, from the recipe in the video description to the video itself showing you exactly what I do and then how to place them on the hives. It's super simple. I view it as an insurance policy over the winter because it gives them immediate food, and it's supposed to help absorb any sort of moisture because there's very little water. You don't use a lot of water at all in sugar bricks, unlike mixing liquid feed. So due to the low water content of the sugar bricks, it's supposed to help, like I said probably a few times now, it's supposed to help absorb any moisture that the colonies produce throughout the winter, which I believe is a decent amount, because if it's 30 degrees overnight and the colonies are typically 90 degrees, it's a huge temperature difference to where condensation and moisture would be relatively high in the colonies. All right, thanks for watching, everybody.